Over the weekend, and without uploading it to their YouTube channel, the Humankind game team at Amplitude Studios released a little sneak peek, spoiler leak alert, about the upcoming Vitruvian update, coming to Humankind next month. If you don't already know, I've covered it briefly on the channel already, but today we received, or should I say yesterday, because I'm behind, apologies, we received some extra information. Shout out to Dr. Train, Dr. Kane, for highlighting this to me in our members Discord. I appreciate each and every single one of you channel members for supporting the channel here or on Twitch. Seriously, thank you so much. Let's jump in and talk about the changes that have been revealed to us today, though. It covers the builder ability as well as these changes to religion and a few other things. We'll break them down one at a time, try and evaluate, and I'll also react to these changes as well and give my perspective on them. First and foremost, I should also note I'll throw them down into the bottom of the screen once you've seen them on the main screen. The gameplay in the background is some new gameplay of me playing with a builder culture, of course the Egyptians, so that you can see, compare and contrast some of the changes that we'll see coming to Humankind. First up, the religious changes, down the bottom left there of the screen. These changes to religion don't actually impact, it seems at the moment, the actual tenets or the system themselves. It's important to note, of course, that all of these sort of leaked, teased changes are yet to be confirmed. Note, text and values are not final. Keep that in mind. Here you can see basically a change to the way that they're bringing the sort of UI, the user experience around religion, and upfronting it. I think the complaint that this is trying to address is some of those flavor elements of religion, like choosing your holy site and naming it maybe as well. Now, when Humankind first came out, this was actually something that tripped me up. I didn't know I could change the look of my holy site to match real-world religions. I thought I was just stuck with the basic one. And if I thought that, chances are there are a lot of other players who thought that too. So, the changes that we've been, at least the ones that we've been sort of leaked or teased so far, show us that the changes that are coming to religion as part of the big update next month are likely to be cosmetic ones around the names of the religion, the historical significance of those religions, to try and help us as players be a little bit more immersed in the religious experience of Humankind. Nice to see. I'd like to see some more changes to that system moving forward as well. Next up, we have two things that I'm going to bundle into one. Notifications and some hinting at Empire syntax and other things in that menu there. Again, I'll replay it again down the bottom left so you can see it while I talk about it. First up, you can see that the notifications have changed. Those ones down the bottom of the screen that pop up all the time, and a lot of the time I find that they get in the way and aren't really notifying me of useful things, like a population being gained in a city or something that I might not really care about. You can tell by the footage that they showed on their social media page, on their Twitter was where I went back and looked at it, that we're going to be able to toggle off certain kinds of notifications. And I think that's great, because if I can remove the ones that are less valuable to me, like for example, you're going to population of Memphis, but keep the ones around war, like such and such declared war on another empire, then the notifications down the bottom provide true value to me. I'm interested in them if I can craft them down to just what I need to hear from my advisors, so that's great to see. The other change that was hinted at there was the empire name syntax that was shown in the menu screen, alongside some other changes to notifications and settings in there as well. Something to note that, of course, as part of that roadmap, that future for Humankind, not necessarily in the next update, but moving forward, they've acknowledged that they will be changing the way that empire names at the very least are displayed, and we saw an options menu in there for syntax around the sort of sentence structure and word use of empire names. So interesting to see. We may be able to shorten it or expand it or something like that, was what I gleaned out of that. Moving on to the most significant change. Here you can see it. Again, apologies for the low res. It wasn't uploaded to their YouTube. It was only uploaded to Twitter, so I'm doing what I can. Here you can see changes to the Land Raiser ability. Again, I'll throw them down the bottom left of the screen, but I'll also be describing these ones. So at the moment, the Land Raiser ability in Humankind can be used on infinitum. When you're playing as an industrial culture, you can activate the Land Raiser ability on your city. It will convert all of your gold and science into industry as well, and it can run forever. But it must at least run for 5 turns, okay? So you turn it on, it lasts for 5 turns, and then it can run as long as you're an industrial culture. You can just keep it going. It's very powerful. The scientific one is the same. Take a look down the bottom left again, and you can see how, so far, they're teasing at how this will be changed. I note that considering they've gone to the step of teasing this out, this is likely to be a more well-formed, well-developed sort of ready to roll, quote unquote, element of the patch than others. i.e., they're willing to show this off, so clearly there's some confidence around it, is what I'm trying to imply. The Landraiser ability now will last for 10 turns and can still be toggled off, and crucially, it can only be toggled on again after waiting another 10 turns. So, I've said a lot of numbers, let me reiterate it and just place it one more time so that we're all on the same page. The Landraiser ability, which converts other resources like gold and science into industry on your cities, currently runs for 5 turns, at least, and it can run, theoretically, infinitely, so long as you're that industrial culture. The proposed changes that they've sort of shown us today on their socials now have it that the Landraiser ability must run for 10 turns, not 5. And, at the conclusion, you must wait another 10 turns before you can activate it again. What it's doing effectively is meaning that you can only really use it at most half as much as you used to. So that's one nerf to it. And then the second nerf to it, and I do think this is probably a nerf, is that it's now on a 10-turn timer instead of a 5-turn one. Now, in a world where you can't turn it off within the first 10 turns, like at the moment how you can't turn it off within those first 5, that's potentially crushing. I've been caught out by this a couple of times. I've put my cities onto Landraiser, and then something unexpected has happened. A huge unexpected cost as a result of an event, or a war being declared, or something like that. And all of a sudden I have no means to generate any money on my empire because I'm converting it into industry using my Landraiser ability. Now, hear me out, if I'm stuck doing that for 10 turns instead of 5, there's potential for opportunistic players to take advantage. And I think that's the key here. It's not necessarily that the ability is worse, although it does limit your flexibility, absolutely it will. The key is that it will maybe open up opportune moments for you to be preyed on, but also for you to take advantage of. An industrial culture may not be as terrifying if you know that it's completely bankrupt after a previous war and completely deprived of science so it can't research any new units. While it will be able to produce its ones much quicker than you, the question is, does being stuck in that for 10 turns limit it enough that an opportunistic player could take advantage, potentially attack, or something similar? Maybe you can attack through diplomacy. I don't know, it's entirely up to you. But it just got me thinking that really there are 2 significant changes, and that gated one, if it is gated and you cannot remove it after 10 turns, could be really powerful. The other important thing to note is that historically these abilities haven't scaled with game mode. If they still don't scale with game mode, then this has a much greater impact on blitz speed, where there are only 75 turns in a game, and even fast speed, where there are 150. So it'll also be interesting to see how that plays out over game speeds, and whether the AI will take advantage of these opportune moments that I've been hinting at in my analysis here. Either way, thank you very much for joining me. That's my analysis so far. I'll be sure to provide updates and keep an eagle-eyed view of their social medias moving forward to make sure that we can cover off everything that's being shared. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the Humankind content, please do like the video, and I will see your beautiful face in the next one. Take care, everybody.